Shalom. Pesach is coming, and it's such a beautiful yontif, such an uplifting yontif. What is Pesach? What is the avodah of Pesach? What is the lesson that needs to be taken from Pesach? Every yontif has its message. Every yontif has its avodah. Where a yid who goes through the yontif becomes a bigger and better yid. What is Pesach and what is the avodah of Pesach? Yadua, it's known that Pesach is about emunah. Emunah in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, belief in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Emunah has two parts. There's one part of emunah to believe that the Rabbi Shalom created the world. Boirei, he's the creator of the world. And then there's another part of emunah, manhig, that the Rabbi Shalom runs the world to the last detail. Shabbos represents that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Boirei Ha'olam. Sheishes Yamim Asas Ha'olam, in 6 days he created the world. V'yoyim Hashvi Shavas, and he rested on the 7th day. Then came Mitzrayim. Mitzrayim was to teach us that the Rabbi Shalom is manhig. He runs the world. He's manhig ha'olam. Shabbos, Boirei. Pesach, manhig. What does it mean to believe that the Rabbi Shalom is manhig ha'olam? It's the fundamental of our emunah. It's the fundamental of our Yesodei Hadas. To believe the Rabbi Shalom is Boirei and manhig. What does it mean that the Rabbi Shalom is manhig? And how do we work on getting this emunah of manhig, that the Rabbi Shalom is the manhig? Pesach is designated to help us to achieve this emunah in manhig, that the Rabbi Shalom is the manhig. Let's talk a little bit about Pesach. We know that Pesach, one of the yesodis of Pesach is cherus, freedom. Freedom. When you read the psukim and you sit by the seder, you think it's about cherus, that we left Mitzrayim and we were avodim and now we're free. Cherus means a lot more than just physical freedom. If you look in the Lashon that we say in Ma'ariv, Vayoitzias Amo Yisrael mitoicham lecherus olam. Doesn't say lecherus, it says lecherus olam. What does it mean, cherus olam? An everlasting, an olam, forever. What does that mean? There's a lot of discussion in the Mefarshim to explain what cherus olam means. But there's a pshat which I think is so relevant, and it speaks volumes of hashkafa and musar, what it means to have emunah and what it means to be a yid. Cherus, let's translate cherus, and then we'll better understand what cherus olam means. You know, there's a dichotomy in the Pesach Seder. We talk about the Galus and we talk about the Geula. Parts of it remind us the Galus and parts remind us the Geula. Marer is the Galus. Then there's parts which is Cherus, for example, the Dalit Kaisis. It's wine, it's Cherus. But it's interesting that the matzah is both. Halach ma'anya, the achol avasona ba'ara de Mitzrayim. It's the bread of affliction. It's the bread of shibud, and at the same time, it's the lechem, the bread of geula, of redemption. And we eat it beheseva, reclining. Which one is it? Which one? Which of the two is it? Is it the galus or is it the geula? And the answer is, it's both. It's both. How could it be both? How could galus and geula be entailed in one matzah? How could it be in the chefza of a matzah? Rabbi say, let's understand cherus. What is cherus? What is freedom? There's a peladika halacha. The Mishnah tells us, afilu oni shebi Yisrael lo yoichal ad sheyasev. The poorest. The Gemara explains, so poor that he has nothing. Lo yoichal, he may not eat ad sheyasev till he does heseva, till he reclines properly. Heseva. Heseva is derech cherus. It's supposed to bring out that the person is free and he's royal. Kederech melachim. Cherus is kederech melachim. He's an ani. He's a poor person. What is this? Is a show? What is this? A mock? It's a mockery. He's sitting ani, and yet he has to feel like he's free. Freedom of kingdom. What kind of a king? He's an ani shebi Yisrael. And the Mishnah says, afilu, even ani shebi Yisrael. And because I would think that an ani can't even do a seva. How can he do a seva? With what is he doing a seva? Still, he has a halacha that he needs to do a seva. Rabbi say, obviously we don't really and fully grasp what it means, cherus. Yes, the ani on the night of Pesach is able to have a feeling of cherus, experience cherus. How? You know, Rabbi, I want to tell you something. I listen for many hours a week to the problems, the tsaras of Klal Yisrael. Very difficult to hear how much suffering, how much fear, how much worry. Parnasa, shidduchim, children. Everyone has in his heart something that afflicts him. Pesach is a lesson in cherus and emunah. What does that mean? You know, we were avodim in Mitzrayim. Yes. And it was physical labor. But there's more to the avdus. There's more to the avdus than a physical avdus. What was the avdus in Mitzrayim? We start the Haggadah, avodim hoyinu lefaroi b'Mitzrayim. We were avodim in Mitzrayim. Chazal say that this format that we begin with avodim hoyinu is because you have to be maschil b'gnus u'misayim b'shvach. We start with something which is not pretty. It's a gnus. It's something which is not flattering for Klal Yisrael. Now, the question is, why is that not flattering? Avodim hoyinu. We were avodim. It's not our fault we were avodim. How does that portray a default in Klal Yisrael that should be called the gnus? So maybe we could say, that we earned the Avdus. We deserved it. It's somewhat of a punishment, and therefore it's a gnus. I saw a moyudik pshat in the drushes of Rabbi Yosef Nechemia Kornitzer. Krokeverov, he said a moyudik pshat. He says a person could be in Mitzrayim and yet still be free. A person could be afflicted. A person could be mishubid, yet still be free. Because he's with the Rabbeinu Shloim. And there's nothing that are in his surrounding. And there's nothing around him that captures and takes hold of him. A person could have cherus in the depth of Mitzrayim. We think cherus means free, that we could do what we want. And avdus means we're forced to do what we don't want. Cherus is something very deep. It's something very, very essential from within. And that is, a person has emunah in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and he knows that there is nothing around him that could take hold of him. He lives with the Rabbeinu Shloim. He is not mishubid to the difficulties, to the daily things that drag him down. So avodim oyinu, we actually fell into the avdus. If we would have been avodim, yet be free in Mitzrayim, to learn, to daven, to be a perfect yid in Mitzrayim, then this wouldn't be called avdus. And therefore it's maschil bignus that the avdus took hold of us. It is us who let avdus take hold of us. We are able to be free, not to be chained to avdus. It's a muyudik in the hair, boys. It's muyudik. Yes, I see everyone smiling, Baruch Hashem. It's a beautiful pshat. Unbelievable. Yes, we are chained by all the difficulties around us, but we are capable of freeing it ourselves by not letting it affect us. That's called cherus. Now let us go back to the matzah. The matzah is a symbol of galus, and it's also a symbol of cherus, and it's not a stira, it's not a contradiction, because matzah represents the emunah, and emunah makes cherus in galus. Matzah takes galus, makes a person free, even in the galus. Cherus doesn't mean actual free to do what you want. You're freed from the shibud. You're freed from the galus around you. That's called freedom. Vayoitzi amu Yisrael mitaycham lecherus olam. It's not lecherus. It's a cherus forever. In every situation, and in every problem, and in every generation. Klal Yisrael is able to be free in the toughest and most difficult and the most darkest of galus and situation, because they were kind of emunah in the Rabbeinu Shloim. Kind of emunah in the Rabbeinu Shloim. This emunah gives a person a cherus from within to withstand and not be chained down by all the difficulty and yisurim of a galus. Yes, the Rabbeinu Shloim created the world. That has nothing to do with us, because that the Rabbeinu Shloim did. Manhig, Rabbeinu Shloim was manhig the world. But we need to accept that. And we need to make us as his peoples that he is leading. Avada the Rabbi Yisrael is manning the world. They used to say over, in Lita, Ameir de Pshat. What is the idea of shofar? Kidei shetamlichuni aleichem. The Gemara says that you should make me a king over you. It's not to make me a king. Why? Rabbi Yisrael is a king without you. Rabbi Yisrael is the Melech HaOlam, whether or not you blow a shofar or you say so. The question is he the king over you? We need to make the Rabbi Shalom that he's the manhig. He is the manhig. But it has to be that we follow the manhig and understand that he's the manhig. You know, Rabbi Yisrael, I was thinking, could you imagine waiting 200 something years for a Yeshua? I mean, at some point, despair sets in. Rabbi Shalom took a nation and asks of it for hundreds of years to have to survive and to not fall and not to be misyayish. We live in a gullus now when we talk about Geula. So many years of suffering. How? How could you ask that of a peoples? And the answer is the Eibishter gave us a matana. He gave us emunah. Probably a guy can never understand this. But we as Jewish people, this is part of who we are. And we are able to have true emunah, and that emunah is our survival throughout all the gullus and all the torture and oppression. The emunah, Klal Yisrael in Mitzrayim, emunah, emunah, emunah. That is our survival mechanism. And this emunah needs to be cultivated and needs to be worked on. And this is what Pesach is for. Pesach is to teach us the matzah is gullus. No, the matzah is geula. It's not separate. It's not a separate thing. In the gullus, a person could have geula, the matzah emunah. Emunah is the matana, the present, on how to make from gullus geula. You know, every morning we say, Shaloi asani ovid. We make a bracha. Tell me, we know of avodim today. What kind of an eved? It's possible. It's a bracha. It's not relevant today. And the answer is, it is relevant, because we could be avodim. We could be avodim to all the difficulties and all the packages that we carry in gullus. Yet we also have the ability through emunah to have cherus olam, everlasting, that it doesn't take hold of us. It doesn't have a shlita over us. I'd like to share with the olam a beautiful chasam sofer, beautiful. Moshe Rabbeinu asked the Rabbeinu Shloim before he begins his shlichus to redeem Klal Yisrael as the Goyel, as the leader, he asked the Rabbeinu Shloim in Parshas Shmos, when Klal Yisrael will ask me, Ma Shmoi, what is your name? Who are you? What? I come and say Hashem. Who? What? When? Where? What do I tell them? So the Rabbeinu Shloim says, tell them, Eheyeh, Asher Eheyeh. I will be, Asher, that I will be. Cryptic. What does it mean? Says the Chasam Sofer, Heruli b'chaloim. He had a dream. Some Sofer says, what does it mean? Hey, I had a dream. Aharon li b'chaloim. Sefer echad shechiber Ramban. A sefer from the Ramban, and it's written there, the pshat of Eya Asher Eya, the message that he was supposed to tell Klal Yisrael. That the Rabbi Shalom's telling him, Eya im mi she'eya. I'll be with the one, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Oim Eya im mi she'eya, that I'm with him. If you take me, I'll be there with you. Ritzaynai mi shemiyachid kol ma'asav l'shmi levad imoyse eya. Al das, says the Chassam Sofer, ani ledoidi v'doidi li. Pesach by night, we say Shir HaShirim. Pesach by night after the Seder, there's a minute to say Shir HaShirim. What is the theme of Shir HaShirim? Ani ledoidi v'doidi li. It's joint. That if you take the Eibishter will take you. And that's how you'll survive the Galus, says the Chassam Sofer. The lesson of Emunah is, I'm going to be with the person that is going to be with me. So Yedua the Nefesh HaChaim writes, Shar Gimel Perik Beis, Skula Nifla, a skula, to be mevatel, to stop all the bad, all the difficulties around the person, that they shouldn't take hold of him and it should go away. Adam koveya belimoy leimoy, he's koveya beliboy to say Haloi Hashem Hu Elokim Amiti ve'ein oid milvado yizborach koyach ba'olam v'chol ha'olam is klal. And if a person thinks this, Yizbatel mi'alav kalakaychiz v'retzaynish shebe'olam sh'layuchel lifol shum davar klal. And that's Eya Asher Eya that the Chassam Sofer is saying, Herali b'chaloim. This is the Emunah that Mitzrayim was supposed to bring out. The Rabbi Shalom's with me. And because I believe fully, and I take that with me in my heart, there was Geulas Mitzrayim. That brought about the Geula. There's a beautiful Beis Halevi. You know, we have 4 cups of wine. After we pour the 4th cup, we go to the door, and we open the door, and we say, Shvoi chamoscha lagoyim. Says the Ramah, why are we opening the door? To show we're not afraid of anything. Leil Shimurim, it's a night that's completely protected. Now understand, there was many a year that Klal Yisrael had to be locked up when they did Pesach Seders. It was dangerous. It was something that they had to do in hiding, yet they always opened the door. To symbolize, says the Ramah, Emunah, that it's a Leil Shimurim. And this Leil Shimurim is going to bring Mashiach. This is going to be the Emunah that's going to take us out. Don't forget the 4th cup is, it's supposed to be a remembrance of Yemais HaMashiach, the last Galus, the 4th Galus. We're going to get out of the Galus. Emunah. Says the Beis Halevi, so why the 4th cup? Let's do it in the 1st cup. Let's open the door for the entire Seder. And the answer is, because the Gemara says that Zugais, if you have 2s, cause mazikim. We're pouring the 4th cup. The 4th cup, the Gemara asks, how could you do it? It's dangerous. Says the Beis Halevi, that's why we open the door. Dangerous? We're not afraid of nothing. Because the Pesach Seder, at the end of it, at the culmination of the Seder, a Yid has to feel, I'm not afraid. Lo iraro ki atu himadi. So when we pour the 4th cup, which is a guarantee for mazikim. Today we don't have this concept so much mazikim, but the Gemara addresses the mazikim, the 4, the zugais, And the answer is, we're not afraid. Because tonight, the Jew is Einoid Movadei with the Rabbeinu Shalom and nothing. Like the Nefesh HaChaim says, Shum Kaya Ba'olam, there's no power in the world that could have any effect on the person. You know, there's a beautiful Sfas Emes. What is Shabbos HaGadol? So it's the day that the nest, that they took the sheep. So do the day. Why Shabbos? It happened to be at that year in Mitzrayim, it happened on Shabbos. But it was Yud. On the calendar, it was Yud. So every Yontiv is not on the day of the week that it happened. It's always on what? It's always on the day of the calendar. So if it's Yud, do it Yud. It doesn't have to be Shabbos. Many terutzim have been said. The Yeshirim of the Yeshiva, we were marich, of course, to give different terutzim to this kasha. Sfas Emes. Tafresh Lamed Beis. Shabbos in Gullus brings out what Pesach is all about. No matter how much Gullus we went through, we always turn to Shabbos is Shabbos. The Rabbeinu Shalom created the world. No matter how much difficulty and how much nisyonis we keep the Shabbos because we know Hashem created, and that is, he says, is Pesach. In Gullus, to keep the Shabbos. That Shabbos HaGadol becomes part of Pesach. What we have emunah in Gullus, which is our redemption, is through the keeping of the Shabbos as well. So we begin the Pesach with the Shabbos, the emunah that HaKadosh Baruch Hu runs the world. I want to tell you something interesting, Rabbi Yisai. How it's so interesting how Marar, there's no Haseva. You don't, Hagam, it's a machlokes. If you did do Haseva by Marar, if it's a problem, if you're not Yaitza, that's for halacha shir one day, okay? Matzah definitely needs a seva, correct? Yeah? Matzah needs a seva. So when you take the kairach and you eat the Marar and the matzah, so should you do a seva? Something's wrong here, right? It's a Marar and a seva. And the answer is, the Marar with the matzah is cheres. The Marar with the emunah is cheres. That's the point of the night of the Seder. Ani, we have our difficulties. But we have something very special. Nothing could drag us down because we live with the Eibishter. And the Eibishter protects us. He's manig, and we know this, and we live with this. This is the freedom that nothing could get to us. And the Goyim can't swallow this. The Goyim they can't knock us down because we live with the Eibishter. It doesn't work. No matter what they try, it just doesn't work. I remember many years ago, I had a conversation with my Bubby Allah Shalom, Rebbitzin Walkin. I said, Bubby, how did you survive the Holocaust? I don't understand it. I don't understand. It doesn't. She said to me something which I think about all the time. She said, Arale, isn't the Chiden? We're Jews. We are Maminim b'nei Maminim. Nothing could shatter Emunah. Emunah, all the difficulties. Mein Tat hat mir ausgelernt. That's what she told me. My father used to tell us and teach us, we're in the hands of the Rabbeinu Shalom. Morgen wird sein besser. Tomorrow will be a better day. Simple, yet speaks volumes. So much depth in the simplicity. And that's the neshaman of every yid. Trust in the Rabbeinu Shalom. Emunah and bitachon the Rabbeinu Shalom. Emunah and bitachon. There's a story from the Kapizhnitzer Rebbe, and with this I'll end, because this speaks so much about how a Jew, in a world of chaos, in a world of worry and fear and difficulty, and everybody goes to sleep at night and he has the things in his heart that really, really are weighing down on him. Yet with emunah and bitachon, you're able to free yourself and live cherus, an inner cherus. This story speaks volumes. I heard it many years ago, and I always think about it. Heilige Kapischen Rebbe, Zeichet Tzadik Levrocha. In Vienna, the Nazis, they rounded up the Rebbes and the Yidden, and to belittle and degrade the Rebbe, they forced him to mop the streets, the pavements. And this was a way of degrading a Rebbe. He should sit there to mop the sidewalks of Austria. The Rebbe took the mop, and he's mopping the floor, and he's singing and humming beautiful Hasidic nigunim as he's doing this. Hasidim around him said, Rebbe, how could you do it? How are you able to muster such, for lack of a better term, after such a freedom, that they shouldn't get to you, that it shouldn't weigh you down and break you? Look what they're doing, the great Rebbes. Rebbe, you're sitting on mamish, mopping the floor. He responded, they think that I'm mopping the floors of Vienna. Little do they know, and I'm going to say it first in Yiddish and then repeat it in English. Little do they know, as ich putz the Rabbi Shalom Sheina Welt. I'm making beautiful the Rabbi Shalom's beautiful world. The frame of mind to not be affected by the shibud around him, and to be able to live with HaKadosh Baruch Hu and say, Rabbi Shalom, this is your world, and I'm a Yid, and I'm your son. They think that it's shibud, but it's cherus, because I'm not afflicted. I'm not mishubit. I'm free, because within they can't steal and take my neshama. They can't take my feelings and my love that they can never vanquish, that they can never steal from me. I'm truly a free person. I might be physically mishubid, but inside, pnimius, the inner, my soul is free because it doesn't affect me, everything. I give you this bracha, Pesach, internalize the Rabbi Shalom's manhig. Every step we take and every thought we have, Rabbi Shalom is directing it from above. And as long as you live with the Rabbi Shalom, and with this you saw that he is the manhig, all evil and all difficulty will vanish by itself. It's a school, Reb Chaim Volozhin, and that was the Haftach of Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh, with the matzah. Oni should be Yisrael. You have parnosa problems. Oni should be Yisrael has parnosa problems. Whatever problem you can have, you're eating the matzah, which is a problem. It's lach ba'anya di achol avasona ba'arad. No, it's also lechem cherus. It's lechem, that emunah, that a person's free. I wish you all a beautiful, beautiful Chag, Kosher, v'Sameach, happiness, Sameach, happiness, for you and your entire family.